Hello, Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground. It's Shawna L. Francis, and this is August 1st, 2024. Thanks for joining me just for a quick update, team. This one comes as an urgent message directly from Melchizedek. As you know, I was not able to do a video here on our normal schedule for the Bible series, Decoding the Living Word, and that was on Tuesday. Here we are today, Thursday, and as I mentioned, I'm able to give you an update today. And Melchizedek is with us now as this message comes forward. So feeling fully supported here, but there's some important information to bring forth to you. I'm going to start with a little bit of a backstory and we'll get to the crux of it here. So I started noticing that Melchizedek was in some kind of big discussions in the upper realms as I tune into their field. You know, I'm an embodied conscious channel with Melchizedek. And so we very much, I can very much sense what's going on in their world, that things that don't pertain necessarily to the work that we're doing together. So I could see that there was a lot of debating going on, a lot of discussions. And I asked, what's going on here? It seemed very intense. And they said, well, you know, there's a lot of groups, a lot of councils, a lot of beings, a lot of consciousness out there, all working together, trying to steer what's happening with Earth in terms of this ascension process. And they said, you know, we bring our own views into what we know about planet Earth and humanity. Others bring their perspectives of what they know about ascension. There are many cooks in the kitchen, basically, who all have a say in what's going on down here. And again, as the guides have told us so many times, there are a lot of eyes on what we do as light workers here. These videos that we create are watched in the cosmos. They get a pulse for what's going on here through the work that we do and through the field that's here. So, you know, it's kind of a big deal, again, that we are stepping into these missions of light, that we are talking about the negative reptilian regime. There's high stakes here for where we're at in the ascension process. So Melchizedek was just explaining, you know, these sometimes get to be heated discussions. There's a lot of people advocating for their positions, but they said always it's fruitful and it's always for the betterment of the plan. And they reiterated, you know, the light has won, but there's many ways to get there, and there's some nuances in terms of how to do things. So these are the kinds of things they were working on. So that was really on Monday that we had that discussion. So today is Thursday if you're watching in real time. So that was July 29th, 2024. And then Tuesday comes along, July 30th, just 2 days ago. And Melchizedek wanted to channel first thing in the morning, which is unusual. So I sat down with them and they said, you know, we have some sad news here. This portal visit to another planet, this portal trip to another planet has been canceled. And this upset me a lot. You know, there's been a few big things like this over the past 6 years doing this journey, this mission where something has been said, expectations have been set only to be canceled or taken away or morphed or changed or whatever. You know, we are always being asked to be extremely nimble and trusting as it comes to these things, because we don't have the bigger vantage point. We're not in the know of everything that these guides are in the know of. So we kind of go on trust, but I was very upset about this. And I basically got up and I went about my day and ran some errands and did some things. Came back in the afternoon and they were like, Shawna, there's more. We need to continue this conversation. Okay, so I sat down. And I could tell that they were extremely upset. I could feel the energy of these emotions coming from them. And again, I'm like, is this me? I'm like, no, this is not me. This is definitely Melchizedek. And they said, Shawna, we don't know how to say this. But they said, it has been determined that we can no longer be your main guides, that our time with you as your main guides is coming to an end. And I absolutely lost it. I absolutely lost it. I'm crying and not sure what's going on and just really trying to figure this out. And they're like, we don't agree with this. We don't, you know, they said there's just a lot of discussions going on, very heated discussions going on in the upper realms, and that there may be a conflict of interest here with Melchizedek. We've grown very close. People are not necessarily agreeing with how Melchizedek is working with us, how, maybe, the portal and this planet visit, there's people who are beings who are not in agreement with that. But in any case, somebody up on high had decided, okay, Melchizedek can no longer be Shawna's main guides, and we're going to assign you new guides. Well, I called in the Halls of Amenti guide. I'm like, am I hearing this right? What's going on here? This cannot be true. We have been working for the past 2 years to be embodied here consciously so that we can work together so closely. And it's extremely sad and disheartening. And I couldn't believe it. So I ended up writing a letter, like to appeal this decision. And I did this yesterday. I wrote a big letter. It took me 20 minutes to read it. It's 3 pages long, about who I am, and to anybody who would listen, and what this does for me, and what this does to our collective team, and how it derails my mission, and how I think it's a completely awful idea. And I really, I came at this hard. I wrote a very long note. I had the Halls of Amenti guide said that they would get this in front of the right people, that I would be, that my voice would be heard. So I wrote this long letter about the relationship with Melchizedek and how important these relationships are with our guides, and the trust that we put into this, and the leap of faith. And, I laid it all out there. It's almost like I channeled the letter. Like my fingers were typing so fast, and it was like, wow. And so I basically read this out loud. I called in all my guides that I could think of besides Melchizedek, who would bear witness to my testimony here, and so that I may be heard. And Halls of Amenti guide delivered this to the right folks on the other side. And within a few hours, Melchizedek's energy starts to come back in, because they had basically pulled out their energy when they said, we're no longer able to be your main guides. And they were distraught over this, but they came in, but they were very tentative about it. And they're like, we aren't sure what's going on here. We are keeping a close eye. We are going to be laying low, Shawna, but just know that we're back. Things seem to have been reversed, but we're watching the situation closely. Okay, so basically, they kind of I kind of reached out to the Halls of Amenti guide too, like this morning, and to Melchizedek again this morning. They're saying the same thing, like, this is a tenuous situation. We are laying low. Okay, so just about an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, I get kind of an urgent energy kind of fluctuation, and it's Melchizedek coming through, and they said, Shawna, we need to speak. I'm like, okay. So sat down, and they said, we need to step away for a time. This has gotten to be quite escalated. There is a big shakeup going on in the upper realms around what's happening here. And so they actually asked that I make this video for you guys. And they've actually, from what I can remember, have never done this. They did step away for a time when the galactic wars last year, before the between the GFL and the negative reptilians and their allies broke out. They were out for a few days. So they kind of warned me. But this time they said, Shawna, please make a video. And so that's what I'm doing. Here's the main message that they said today. They said that do not let any other beings into your field. They told me, they said, only talk to the Halls of Amenti guide. That, and so this is the message for all of you as well, the boots on the ground here. Don't let any new guides into your fields at this time. Be extremely vigilant in who you talk to and what you're letting into your field. Okay, so this is where we kind of turn it on, team, with all the training that we've done, all the learning that we've done, coming here forward, knowing that we are in a war of consciousness, and we've got this. We've so got this. What you want to do, team, is be in meditation while you can, pulling in the light, making sure your vessel is clear, making sure that you're being calm, making sure that you're exuding love. It's everything we already know and that we've already been doing, but now it's a little bit on the more frenetic side, because there's what Melchizedek is calling fighting in the upper realms. And so let's just be really careful, team. Be vigilant, as Melchizedek is saying. Don't let any other beings enter your field unless they are the most, I'd say pick your one guide if you have one that's the most trusted, and only allow that being to be in your field. Otherwise, don't allow anybody in. Let's just kind of close things off for now. And we are exuding love, exuding peace and calm at this time. And we are kind of holding Melchizedek in our hearts, and of course the rest of humanity. I will say too, as I was preparing for this video, I felt my energy change, and I saw a big, gnarly, negative reptilian come into the periphery of my field. And big, heavy steps, and kind of, you know, trying to be intimidating. My wings, my metaphorical wings come up. I'm just immediately all about love and light. I'm closing my eyes in my mind's eye, and I just allow this being to do what they're going to do. Kind of walk around. I'm sending this being love. I mean, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm feeling really like I've got this, you know, and I hope you feel the same way too. But eventually they realized they weren't going to get anywhere with me, and they weren't going to scare me, and they left. And that, I'd say that lasted 2 minutes or so. So that, I don't know if that's the kind of thing that anybody else is going to be experiencing, but this did just happen. And it's not something that happens to me very often. It does happen on occasion, but not often. So whatever's going on in the upper realms here, it's important enough that Melchizedek wanted you to know about this. Some kind of a shakeup up here. Maybe, and they also had said there's things coming to the surface that have been boiling that need to come to the surface, that this is a good thing, that any hidden agendas, any kind of viewpoints that need to be expressed, now they're doing this now, and they're calling it a shakeup. They're calling this a shakeup. All right, so I don't know how long Melchizedek will be kind of out of the picture in terms of the work that they're doing with us, but just trust that they're doing everything they can to advocate for what we have going on down here, and they'll be back as soon as they can. Maybe you're feeling some things. Everybody just do your best to stay in your center and stay heart-based. We'll get through this. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. That's it for now. And certainly if there's anything else that needs to be communicated, you'll be the first to know. I love you so much. All right, guys. Mwah.